What is up, PokeMoshPitbeta? My name is Dittomywiz, and welcome to Pokemon Black and White 2 Wi-Fi Battle. Today's battle is a never used tier match versus my good friend Mizticall. And looking at my team, I just have a bunch of Pokemon that aren't even evolved, but he has a balanced team with a bunch of defensive stuff, such as his Alamola, and a bunch of offensive stuff, such as his Primeape. But anywho, let's just get into the game, shall we? He's going to be leading off with his Ampharos, and I'm going to be leading off with my Bandit Sock, as my name refers to. And looking at his team automatically, I saw that he has no resistances to the Earthquake, so I figured I might as well not overpredict first turn and go for the Earthquake. But the thing is, he actually just goes into that big love disc, and I'm just going to go into my Scraggy, because now at this point, I know my especially defensive Scraggy with the Eviolite and the Shed Skin should be able to wall him. But now at this point, as he switches out into his Ampharos, I don't want to take a Focus Blast, so I'm just going to go into my Musharna at this point, and he just Volt Switches out because he knows he can't really do anything else to my Musharna. So at this point, I set up a Calm Mind on his switch out, but the thing is that he actually just goes into his Zangoose, and with the Toxic Boost, he's actually going to be able to kill me off with a Facade right here, and I was literally surprised that that Zangoose killed me at that range. But who cares? So at this point, I'm just going to go into my defensive wall, and he knows this, so he's going to predict my Sleep Powder, but I'm actually going to go for the Giga Drain, knowing that he would go into his Vital Spirit Primeape, and now he's going to U-turn predicting my switch out, but I'm actually going to stay in so I could Sleep Powder his switch in, and that was just very great because now I got his Cleric asleep. So now I'm just going to go for the Elite Seed as I actually get Elite Seed off on his switch out, and right now my Tangela is just playing really greatly against him, but the thing is that he's actually just going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, and that's going to do a lot of damage. In fact, I'm pretty sure he is actually Specs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right into my Sock at this point, and I want him to go back into that Love Disc, so I went for the Toxic, but the thing is, he actually does not go into his Alamola, and he actually just goes into that Golurk predicting a close combat or something. So right here, I'm just going to switch out. I'm going to go into my Scraggy, but as he switches out into this Ampharos, I'm like, nope, I don't want to take a Focus Blast, so I just go into my Haunter right here. And knowing that he is Specs, he's most likely going to switch out, but I'm just going to go for the Sludge Bomb at this point. And in comes this Vileplume, which does not take a lot, so I'm going to have to switch out right here. Go into my Scraggy, because I figured I could easily just set up some bulk ups while he is asleep. But the thing is, he's actually just going to go into this Golurk at this point. So at +1 bulk up, I'm figuring that I could take any attack, whether it's Earthquake, Dynamic Punch, but the thing is that even if he goes for the Dynamic Punch, all I need to do is just not get confused and I can go for the Crunch, but of course I get confused and I'm gonna have to switch out on this next turn because I really want to keep my Scraggy for that Alamola. So right here, I figured that he would not overpredict and he would just go for the KO on my Scraggy, so I figured that he would go for the Dynamic Punch. But now as I go into my Haunter, I'm just going to trick and I'm just going to predict maybe his Alamola or his Vileplume. But the thing is, he actually stays in and goes for the Ice Punch. And now he knows I have a Purple Pass. The Purple Pass can easily just wall his Ice Punch, so he's going to predict my Purple Pass, and he's going to go into his Primeape, but I actually stayed in right here, went for the double trick so I could take his Scarf away from him, and then just kill off his Primeape, so I have to admit, that was pretty risky business, but it really did pay off. So now at this point, he's going to go into his Golurk, and I'm just going to go into my Scraggy as Death Fodder, but he shows that he's going to lock himself into the Stealth Rock, so that is very great, because now at this point, I figured that he would switch out, so I could easily just go for the Drain Punch and gain some HP back. So right here, I get a crit, it doesn't really matter, because that Alamola does have Regenerator and the Leftovers. And at this point, I figured I could easily just bulk up it like before, because I walled this whole entire Alamola set. But the thing is, he realizes this, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta go back into my Ampharos. So, not wanting to take a Focus Blast, I actually go into my Purple Pass to predict the Volt Switch that he may go for, but the thing is, he actually just stays and goes for the Specs Thunderbolt. And what's really stupid right here is I went for the Earth Power over the Stealth Rock. Now later on in the game, you'll see that the Stealth Rock really battered if I had went for it right there. But now my Probopass is gonna die as his Ampharos is locked in a Thunderbolt. I know I could easily just go into my stock at this point and I could just go for an Earthquake, but he actually just goes into his Golurk as that actually just dies off, which I'm pretty glad because now I don't have to worry about dynamic punches. So now at this point he's gonna go into Zangoose and he's gonna outspeed me because I'm actually adamant and he's actually jolly. So now at this point I'm just gonna go into my Haunter, and this is where it all comes down to. If I hit this Sludge Bomb and kill off the Zangoose, I could kill the rest of his team. But the thing is, I miss out on the KO with my Sludge Bomb, and he's gonna be able to kill off my Haunter. Now, if I had actually kept my Haunter and killed off his Zangoose at the same time, then I could have easily just killed off the Ampharos, and Big Love Disc and the Vileplume could have been handled by Scraggy, but that does not work because he's able to kill off my Haunter and he's going to be able to Focus Blast my Scraggy. So, thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, and goodbye.